Hi, this is Michael, and this is my review of the Sonos One. I am loving the speaker. I've had it a couple weeks now. Previously, I've owned and currently still have Echo Dots scattered around my house, but the Echo Dot sound quality can't even begin to approach the sound quality of the Sonos One. The Echo Dot sounds like a cheap transistor radio or something. The Sonos One is a very high quality, very full sounding, lovely experience. This has two drivers in it. It has a tweeter up on the top. I think you might be able to see it. And then it has what they call a mid woofer down on the bottom here. Even though it looks like sound comes out of all sides because of this wraparound grill, actually it's only coming out of the front of the speaker, so that's something you want to be aware of when you place the speaker. This is a substantial speaker. It's built very solidly. This thing weighs like 4 pounds, and when you grab it, it just feels solid. It's not plastic. It's just got a very great build quality. Very simple on the back. This is just an Ethernet. If you want to connect this directly to your router, maybe you have spotty Wi-Fi or for whatever reason, this can also be connected to the boost. And then this button here is just when you're doing your initial setup. It's not an on-off button. On the top is a touch panel, and this is how you can turn the microphone off. So if you don't want this light on at night, you can just turn it off. And also this light, you can toggle this light off using the app. And then you've got a play pause button, and you have volume, but you can tap it to change the volume. So this will lower the volume, and this will increase the volume. This can play quite loudly. It'll definitely fill a good size room with sound. We have this in our living room right now, just a single speaker. I own two of these. I have not used them as a stereo pair because, quite honestly, it just doesn't matter to me that I hear stereo unless I'm in a dedicated listening environment. This is just providing background music for us, so stereo is not a big deal to me. It is interesting that this cannot be paired with a Sonos Play One, in case you have a Play series speaker. It can only be set up as a stereo pair with another Sonos One. Again, that doesn't bother me. I don't have any Play One speakers, but if you do have Play One speakers, that may be something to think about. The touch panel here can also change tracks, and all you do is you swipe. So if you want to go forward, swipe to the right. If you want to go backward, swipe to the left. This picks up your voice very well. There's a bunch of microphones in here, and I don't have any problem issuing commands to Alexa when I'm just anywhere in my room here. I don't have to yell at it. It just seems to be really good at picking up my voice. And even if the TV is playing, it'll even hear me over the TV. So some really nice technology in here to be able to extract your voice out of whatever ambient noise is going on in the room. Another thing that you need to know is this does work on various voltages, so it could be used internationally. There might be some implications, though, depending on what country you're in as far as its integration with other services. You do need to really download both apps, the Sonos app and the Alexa app on your smartphone when you're setting this up, because when you're connecting your different services, you do need to switch between those two apps. So right now I have this connected to my Spotify account. It'll also play Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora. There's a lot of services that are integrated with this already, and more will be added in the future. A lot of the complaints people are having about full Alexa integration, some of them are going to be addressed by Sonos in the future. For instance, playing ebooks is one of those. There are some others that I don't know whether they'll ever resolve it, but one of them is that you cannot change the wake-up word for Alexa from Alexa to something else, not on this speaker anyway. But they may change that in the future, I don't know, but again, that's to me a minor point. Here's a look at the Sonos app. The My Sonos area here is where your favorites are located and where the shows are that you've selected. and then you also have an indication here of what's currently playing, and it gives you album art and all that. This is coming from Spotify right now, and so that's really cool. Then next to this is the Browse button, and this is where I can go into Spotify and select my music. I can play my playlists, specific songs or albums that I have set up in Spotify. Then the Rooms button here, right now I just have one Sonos One set up, so it's showing the living room, and if I had more than one speaker, which I do, I just don't have it set up yet in another room. This is where I can group my speakers. If I had a whole bunch of speakers, I could have different groups. Each speaker can play its own music independently from the others, so that is really what the whole beauty of Sonos systems are. And then we have the search button here. This is for searching for artist songs, albums, playlists, what have you. And then the More button is where we get into the guts of the Sonos app. These are where you can connect different voice services, music services. We have Amazon Music, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, and a bunch of others here depending on where you live. And there are probably going to be more services added in the future, but there's a huge number of services that are already in play here, and SiriusXM is one of them as well, so that's really great. Then you can set alarms on this. That is really helpful. An alarm can also be set in Alexa, and they're different alarms, so just be aware that you can set two types of alarms. I really like the Sonos alarms though, because they sort of ramp up. They don't just start whenever the alarm has been set, and you can set, there's a lot of flexibility in setting the alarms. And then we have other settings here that you can access, and I'm not going to go into all this detail because that's really beyond the scope of the review, but I found the setup process to be extremely easy. The Sonos app walks you through the entire process. You do want to make sure that prior to doing the setup that you download the Sonos app and the Alexa app onto your smartphone, because you will be switching between both apps during the setup process and when you're adding your services. Overall, extremely happy with the speaker. It works really well. I do have an Echo Dot nearby. The only kind of, it's not a problem, but it's just something you have to be aware of, is if you do have another Alexa enabled device nearby, there's a really good chance that both of them will hear the wake up command. In my case it's Alexa, but usually only one of them will respond, whichever one seems to pick you up the best, I guess. However, a little bit earlier I was testing this, and I said, Alexa, tell me a joke, and I heard this one tell the joke.
Why did Ed get sent to the principal's office? He cracked too many yolks.
I heard this one tell the joke, and then I also heard the Echo Dot in the kitchen nearby also saying a joke. It was a different joke simultaneously, so that was kind of weird. I thought only one of them was supposed to respond at a time, so I'm not sure about that, and I'll probably contact them just to clarify what's going on there. But overall, love this speaker. On the back here you've got the Ethernet jack in case you want to connect to a router, or the boost. And then again, this is just for setup. It's not an on-off button. Highly recommend this. It's a very, very good listening experience. And if you have any questions about the Sonos One, I'll answer them if I can. Just leave me a comment. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.